Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra. Market Mantra.
Good evening and welcome to the Thursday edition of Market Mantra, in which we give you a complete update on the economic, business and stock market news of the day. My name is Rajesh Lake and with me is my co-anchor in Hindi, Prachi Priya.
नमस्कार, मार्केट मंत्र में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम देश विदेश की आर्थिक गतिविधियों, शेयर बाजारों और प्रमुख समाचारों पर विशेष बातचीत करेंगे। आमंत्रित हैं स्टूडियो में वरिष्ठ आर्थिक पत्रकार A.K. भट्टाचार्य। महोदय, कार्यक्रम में आपका स्वागत है।
नमस्कार।
वेलकम मिस्टर भट्टाचार्य।
थैंक यू।
चर्चा शुरू करेंगे, मगर पहले हेडलाइंस।
Benchmark domestic equity indices end on negative note. Sensex declines over 700 points. Nifty settles at 24,500. Centre extends import duty exemption on cotton till 31st of December this year. And Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana completes 11 years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlights transformation of lives from financial exclusion to empowerment.
प्रमुख घरेलू सूचकांकों में आज गिरावट का दौर रहा। सेंसेक्स 700 अंक गिरा और निफ्टी 24,500 पर बंद हुआ। केंद्र सरकार ने कपास पर आयात शुल्क छूट इस वर्ष के 31 दिसंबर तक बढ़ा दी। और प्रधानमंत्री जनधन योजना के 11 वर्ष पूर्ण। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने वित्तीय समावेशन की इस परिवर्तनकारी योजना की सराहना की। देश के शेयर बाजार में आज गिरावट का दौर रहा। सेंसेक्स 706 अंक घटकर लगभग 80,000 पर बंद हुआ। वहीं निफ्टी 211 अंक घटकर 24,500 पर बंद हुआ। बॉम्बे शेयर बाजार के मिड कैप इंडेक्स में 1.1% गिरावट दर्ज की गई और स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स लगभग 1% गिरा। ये गिरावट अतिरिक्त टैरिफ लगाने के बाद से देखी गई। सेंसेक्स में शामिल 30 में से 23 कंपनियों के शेयर नुकसान के साथ बंद हुए।
The benchmark domestic equity indices ended over 0.8% down each. The Sensex lost 706 points to close at 80,080. Similarly, Nifty dipped 211 points to settle at 24,500. The broader market indices at the Bombay Stock Exchange ended on a negative note. The mid-cap index declined 1.1% and the small-cap index was down nearly 1%. The decline came after the imposition of additional US tariffs since yesterday.
जैसा कि हमने बताया, सेंसेक्स में शामिल 30 में से 23 कंपनियों के शेयर नुकसान के साथ बंद हुए। सबसे ज्यादा गिरने वाले शेयरों में शामिल HCL टेक, जो कि 2.8% से अधिक नीचे आ गई। वहीं इन्फोसिस लगभग 2% और पावर ग्रिड के शेयर में लगभग 1.9% की गिरावट आई। सबसे ज्यादा बढ़ने वाले शेयरों पर गौर करें तो टाइटन 1.2% से अधिक, लार्सन एंड टूब्रो 0.7% और मारुति सुजुकी 0.6% से ज्यादा बढ़े।
In sectoral indices at the BSE, among top laggards, services dropped over 2.2%, telecommunications slipped around 1.7%, and IT dipped nearly 1.7%. On the other hand, consumer durables was bucking the trend. The overall market breadth at the BSE was negative as shares of 2,651 companies declined and shares of 1,458 companies advanced, while shares of 149 companies remained unchanged.
महोदय, क्योंकि टैरिफ अभी कल से ही भारत पर लागू हुआ है, ऐसे में आप बाजार में आज आई गिरावट को कैसे देखते हैं?
देखिए, ये तो स्वाभाविक है, क्योंकि ट्रंप साहब ने जो 50% का जो टैरिफ लगाया है, उसका एक प्रधान कारण जो प्रतिफलन दिख रहा है स्टॉक मार्केट में जो गिरावट आई है, मैं समझता हूं कि ये गिरावट या वॉलेटिलिटी जिसे आप कहेंगे ये कंटिन्यू करेगा, पर मुझे जो इंटरेस्टिंग चीज लगी आज के स्टॉक मार्केट में कि जो सर्विसेज सेक्टर की जो स्टॉक्स जो हैं उसमें ज्यादा गिरावट आई, और मुझे ये लग रहा है कि जो मार्केट ने जो ट्रम्प साहब के 50% की जो टैरिफ जो है उसको ऑलरेडी एब्जॉर्ब कर लिया है, और मार्केट को शायद अनसर्टेनिटी उस बात में है कि कोई जो सर्विसेज कंपनी जो हैं उसके ऊपर कोई ऐसा कोई चोट ना आए। इसीलिए जो अगर आप देखें, अगर HCL टेक को बोलें या इन्फोसिस को बोलें, इन सब का जो स्टॉक मार्केट में जो आज जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर से ज्यादा उनके ऊपर दबाव आया है। तो मैं समझता हूं कि जो बात 2-3 दिन पहले हो रही थी कि एक डिजिटल कंपनियों के ऊपर एक टैक्स आ सकता है, जो क्योंकि अगर डेटा लोकलाइजेशन हुआ या अगर जो गूगल टैक्स जिसे हम कहते हैं कि वो उस टैक्स से शायद सर्विसेज सेक्टर को एक जरा झटका पहुंचा है। और दूसरी बात जो मुझे लगा आज के उसमें कि जो अगर हमारी अर्थनीति में अगर कोई मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर जैसे मारुति सुजुकी का जो 2 दिन पहले जो 2 दिन क्या पिछले दिन उनका जो एक बड़ा एक ईवी कंपनी का एक जो हंसलगढ़ में जो प्रधानमंत्री के साथ उनका जो इनॉग्रेशन हुआ उसका भी एक इम्पैक्ट पड़ा। इसका मतलब इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी अगर ठीक से चलेगी, मैं समझता हूं कि शायद स्टॉक मार्केट उसको रिकॉग्नाइज करेगा। और ये जो ट्रंप की जो बात चली है उससे स्टॉक मार्केट में उथल पुथल भी होगी, और ये उथल पुथल मैं समझता हूं कि आगे के दिनों में चलती रहेगी जब तक न कोई निश्चयता का एक आभास मार्केट को मिले। और ये भी आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि जो आज की तारीख में इस महीने का एक्सपायरी डेट था आज, तो उससे भी काफी लेन देन उसी लिए हुई और मार्केट उसका भी एक इम्पैक्ट दिखा रहा है।
जी, रुपयों की बात बताएं। अंतर बैंकिंग विदेशी मुद्रा बाजार में $1 की तुलना में आज रुपया 6 पैसे बढ़कर ₹87.62 पर बंद हुआ। दुनिया की 6 अन्य प्रमुख मुद्राओं की तुलना में डॉलर इंडेक्स अंतर दिवसीय कारोबार में 97.91 पर कारोबार कर रहा था।
Mr. Bhattacharya, we were talking about the 50% tariff imposed on India. Will it continue to weigh on market sentiments in the near term? Or do you think the market is unlikely to panic since the market will view these high tariffs as a short-term aberration which will be resolved soon?
Well, you asked a very interesting question. Markets don't like uncertainties. So what is very clear is that from yesterday, the markets know that there is a 50% additional tariff on India's goods, which around, according to some estimates, around $48 billion of India's exports to the US will be seriously affected, particularly in garments, in dairy items, marine foods, gems and jewelry, etc., etc. Now, so far, this was not very clear that whether the additional 25% will kick in or not. Now, markets know it has kicked in. So my reading is that the markets have absorbed this news, and probably markets are looking at the situation and what the government does and what the companies do in terms of exploring alternative markets, whether there are developments that if the Prime Minister is going to China, what kind of initiatives the government takes in consultation and collaboration with China. So uncertainty in that sense is over. The markets know the damage. So going forward, I would say that the markets will react positively if the kind of statement that Scott Bessent made this morning, that or US last evening, that talks will go on. At the
end of the day, India and US will come together.
So I think these are all positive statements. But right now, markets is reacting to a development, and that uncertainty is getting over is good news for the market. So to answer your question, yes, volatility will continue for some more days. But my sense is that the markets is gradually coming around to the view that this is going to be the extent of damage, and this is how the markets will respond.
We'll continue our discussion after a short break. Welcome back to Market Mantra. Mr. Bhattacharya, we were talking about what the U.S. Treasury Secretary said. What is your sense of that? And do you think we have more other things to worry about, like the high valuations and the poor earning performances, rather than the ongoing issues?
Well, I think the earnings issues are a factor because the corporate sector, corporate earnings have not been very, very impressive. So they definitely have dampened some of the expectations or the enthusiasm in the market. But I think rising above all that is what's really happened with the global trade arena. Now, this trade action or tariff action on India is actually not just so much about trade, but more about how India is going to respond to the challenges posed by the US's tariffs. So it's possible that the Scott Bessent statement is probably in response to some of the overtures India and China have made to each other to come a little closer, and the latest statement of the Chinese premier to the Indian president on suggest that there should be closer relationship between India and China have little bit not unnerved but provoked this kind of conciliatory statements that India and US will never be going. So I see it as a play of a larger geopolitics in the world, and when India goes and hugs a little more closely the Japanese leaders or the Chinese leaders, I have a feeling the US will also respond in a different way.
Moving on, former US charge d'affaires to India, Donald Heflin, has warned that Washington's unpredictable diplomatic approach is complicating trade negotiations with New Delhi. Mr. Heflin, who is now a senior fellow at the Fletcher School at Tufts University, argued that the traditional norms and processes of diplomacy are broken in Washington. Regarding the U.S. policy shift in the Indo-Pacific, Heflin pointed out that renegotiating economic arrangements with China is impacting U.S. ties to other nations in the region, including India. Now, India-U.S. relationship versus India-China relationships. There are, I have made a whole lot of points to discuss with you that,
Sure.
Okay, India-China, we both have 1.4 billion large markets over there. We have Indian policymakers who have begun to recognize the necessity of Chinese capital investment in manufacturing, and also Trump is a good incentive for both countries to reconsider their options.
Well, I think this statement that came from the Tufts University professor is actually welcome news. If there is more such statements coming from the U.S. intellectual elite, then I think it will strengthen India's cause in its battle with the U.S. on the trade front. But your larger question on China and U.S. and India, I would say that India has to use its strategic levers, like maybe coming close to China and trying to tell U.S. that, listen, I have options. So I think what is happening right now is a strategic play, and India must use those strategic levers. We don't have the kind of rare earths that like China has, but we do have our digital backbone, we do have digital strengths, and we do have China, the market. And if we come close to China, China has not been a very reliable partner so far, but we can use Chinese presence to use our negotiating terms and convert that negotiating terms to our advantage with the U.S. So this is diplomacy and trade negotiations being on play.
चर्चा आगे बढ़ाएंगे, मगर उससे पहले कुछ खबरों पर नजर डालते हैं। सरकार ने कपास के आयात पर कर की छूट को इस वर्ष 30 दिसंबर से 30 सितंबर से 31 दिसंबर तक बढ़ाने का फैसला किया है। वित्त मंत्रालय ने कहा है कि ये फैसला भारतीय वस्त्र उद्योग के लिए कपास की उपलब्धता बढ़ाने के उद्देश्य से किया गया है। इससे पहले सरकार ने कपास के आयात पर 19 अगस्त से 30 सितंबर तक अस्थायी कर छूट दी थी। महोदय, सरकार द्वारा कपास के आयात पर लगाए गए कर छूट से छोटे किसानों और छोटे स्तर पर काम कर रहे कपास का जो काम करते हैं जो लोग, उन पर कैसा असर पड़ेगा?
देखिए, इसके 2-3 पहलू हैं। पहली बात तो ये है कि हमारे देश की अपनी उपज जो है, कपास की उपज जो है, इस बार जो एस्टिमेट जो आए हैं उसमें करीबन 7 से 10% की घटी है। तो उससे जो हमारी जो लोकल डोमेस्टिक डिमांड जो है, जो कपास से हम जो डोमेस्टिक कॉटन इंडस्ट्री, गारमेंट इंडस्ट्री, एपल इंडस्ट्री, जो टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री, उसको कमी पहुंचेगी और हमको इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा। तो करीबन हम 7 से 10%, इसका मतलब 320 लाख बेल्स की हमारी खपत होती है। उसमें से करीबन 20 और 32 लाख बेल्स को हमें इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा। अगर आप देखें तो इसको तो हमें इंपोर्ट करना ही पड़ेगा, और इससे जो कृषक जो है उनको मैं समझता हूं कुछ क्षति नहीं पहुंचेगी, क्योंकि वो तो जो उनका उपज जो है वो उतना नहीं हुआ है। तो पहली बात तो ये है। और दूसरी बात जो ये है कि हमारी जो कॉटन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री है, उनको अगर जो अभाव जो होगा कपास का, उसको पूर्ण करना पड़ेगा, और इसीलिए हमें और भी इंपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा। और अगर हम ये 11% ड्यूटी जो है उसको सस्पेंड कर दें दिसंबर तक, उससे जो कॉटन इंडस्ट्री को जो इंपोर्ट करने की जो सुविधा मिलेगी, उससे उनकी जो प्रतिस्पर्धिता जो है उसको एक वृद्धि होगी उनको। तो मैं समझता हूं इसमें कोई किसान की क्षति है, बल्कि जो हमारी जो टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री है उनको एक कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस की तरह से उनको एक एडवांटेज मिलेगा। और तीसरी पहलू जो है वो बहुत बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हम जो ये कपास जो हम आयात करते हैं, उसमें ब्राजील और अमेरिका 2 ऐसे देश हैं जिससे हम सबसे से ज्यादा कपास हम आयात करते हैं। तो मैं ये समझता हूं कि एक टाइम में जहां पे ट्रंप साहब टैरिफ लगा रहे हैं, उनको भी शायद ये मालूम होगा कि हम टैरिफ तो लगाते हैं, पर जब हमारी जरूरत होती है उस टैरिफ को हम हटा भी दे सकते हैं। और जिस तरह से हम कपास अमेरिका से ला रहे हैं, उससे हमारी जो अर्थनीति की जरूरतें हैं उसको पूरा कर रहे हैं। तो ये तीनों पहलू मैं समझता हूं कि हमें इसको नजर में रखना है, जो आज की जो डिसीजन लिया गया है उससे।
मिस्टर भट्टाचार्य, वी डू हैव अ कमेंट फ्रॉम Ms. Chandrima Chatterjee, Secretary General of the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry. Let's hear what she has to say.
The Indian textile industry is very relieved with this extension of exemption, because now it will really benefit the industry which wants to place new orders for cotton procurement. Orders take at least 45 to 60 days to be shipped into the country. So we have that kind of a window now. So some imports can happen for this period, and more importantly is relevant because it also stabilizes the domestic cotton prices. And since the sector, especially the export-oriented sectors today, are in a deep concern area, this relief in the raw material price will be of big help to the industry.
चर्चा को आगे बढ़ाएंगे, मगर लेते हैं अल्प विराम।
Welcome back, and we move on to the next story now. India's industrial production growth, measured by the Index of Industrial Production, IIP, rose 3.5% in July this year, up from 1.5% in June. According to the data released by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, the factory output had expanded by 5% in the same month last year. Among the 3 major components of IIP, manufacturing advanced by 5.4% in July as compared to 3.7% in the previous month. Electricity generation logged marginal rise of 0.6%, However, mining output remained in contraction, declining by 7.2%. Mr. Bhattacharya, how do you see the manufacturing going up? And how do you see the mining output coming down?
Well, I'm not surprised at all by these numbers. You have to see the base effect here at work. Manufacturing, and why manufacturing? Even the industrial growth going forward, I see industrial growth picking up. If not for nothing else, but because the industrial, the performance, the same months from June onwards last year were actually doing very badly. So therefore, what you are going to see, not just 3.5% when the data for the following 2 or 3 months are released, you will see industrial growth doing well. Mining contraction, I don't think we should be surprised, because this is the monsoon time, and this is the monsoon time where you actually see a lot of mines are just shut down and closed. So therefore, the output does get impacted. So I don't think we should read too much into this number. What we should be conscious of, that the consumer non-durables is still very, very, very slow growth, around 1.2% or 5% growth, which is not a good idea, which is not a good signal. Capital goods sector is gradually coming back to itself. 5%. Manufacturing is also reviving. But I
11.9%.
9%. So therefore, you have to look at the overall sense that 1.3% in the previous month and 3.5% in this month. And I'm sure, going by the base effect, the coming months, this number will keep rising.
जी राजेश, हम चर्चा को आगे लिए चलेंगे, मगर एक नजर डालते हैं पहले एशिया और यूरोप के बाजारों पर। एशिया के प्रमुख बाजारों में आज बढ़त का दौर रहा। चीन का शंघाई कॉम्पोजिट इंडेक्स 1.1%, जापान का निकेई 0.7%, दक्षिण कोरिया का कॉस्पी 0.3% और सिंगापुर का स्ट्रेट टाइम्स इंडेक्स 0.2% बढ़ा। उधर हांगकांग का हैंग सेंग इंडेक्स 0.8% से नीचे आ गया। ताजा समाचार मिलने तक प्रमुख यूरोपीय बाजारों में आज का रुख मिला जुला नजर आ रहा है। फ्रांस का कैक 40 समाचार बनने तक 0.3% ऊपर चल रहा था, वहीं लंदन का FTSE 100 0.3% नीचे चल रहा था और जर्मनी का डैक्स सपाट नजर आया।
US stocks indices ended with a moderate gain on Wednesday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose around 0.3% to 45,565. The S&P 500 climbed over 0.2% to close at record high of 6,481, led by gains in small cap companies. And the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index advanced 0.2% to 21,590. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to embark on an official visit to Japan today to attend the 15th India-Japan Annual Summit with the Prime Minister of Japan, Shigeru Ishiba. The bilateral trade, currently at around $22 billion, the visit is expected to give a major push to sectors like semiconductor, defense and security, science and technology, infrastructure and mobility. More from our correspondent in Tokyo.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Japan visit is expected to give a new roadmap to India-Japan partnership. Ambassador of India to Japan, C.B. George, said that both nations prioritizing high-end technology and supply chain resilience. Semiconductors are at the heart of new initiatives aimed at boosting bilateral cooperation in critical and emerging technologies. He highlighted that both countries see strong complementarity in the semiconductor sector.
One area on which we are working is the semiconductors. Another area is the critical technologies, say like quantum computing, drones, robotics, or space technology. There are so many areas our two countries are working. To give an example of semiconductors, India is focusing a lot on semiconductors in India now. And same is the case with Japan. So we see a complementarity in our relationship in the semiconductor sector. So we see progress.
The Ambassador of India to Japan said that India-Japan relationship has seen complete transformation in last 10 years. Currently, 1,500 Japanese companies are operating in India, and the goal is to scale this number to 15,000 Japanese companies, turning them into 15,000 success stories.
India-Japan relationship, this success story is a huge attraction for other companies. What we need is a quantum leap in our relationship when it comes to business relationship, and that is what we are working on. From this 1,500, we would like to make our relationship to a level of 15,000 Japanese companies, make it 15,000 success stories. I'm sure that the momentum which we have now, we would be able to achieve a quantum leap in our relationship at every sphere.
The Ambassador of India to Japan highlighted that India and Japan have seen significant progress in their relationship at every level, every spectrum, whether it is political relationship, business partnership, security and strategic partnership, and people-to-people connect. For Market Mantra, Om Avasthi, Akashvani News, Tokyo.
Moving on, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana PMJDY completes 11 years today. It is one of the biggest financial inclusion initiatives in the world, which was announced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on 15th of August 2014, I beg your pardon, from the ramparts of the Red Fort. In a social media post, while sharing the glimpses of PM Jan Dhan Yojana, Prime Minister Modi highlighted how the scheme has transformed lives across India from financial exclusion to empowerment. Crude oil market was trading in negative territory today. Brent crude was trading almost 0.1% down at $67.92 per barrel, and WTI crude was also trading nearly 0.2% down at $64.07 per barrel when reports last came in. In the Indian bullion market, 24-karat gold was trading 0.2% up at 1,01,820 rupees per 10 grams, while silver was trading nearly 0.9% up at 1,17,250 rupees per kilogram. AKB, thank you so much for being with us and answering all the queries that we have for you on the market and the economy.
Thank you for having me here.
And before we close, the headlines once again. Benchmark domestic equity indices end on negative note. Sensex declines over 700 points. Nifty settles at 24,500. Centre extends import duty exemption on cotton till the 31st of December this year. And Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana completes 11 years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlights transformation of lives from financial exclusion to empowerment. That's all we have in this edition of Market Mantra. Till tomorrow, goodbye.